What is going on, beautiful people of YouTube? We're going to do this video in two small parts. The first part is going to be about this app called Pi, which is like some ad extension blocker, which I have a lot of thoughts about and I think is a little risky or something. I'm not really sure yet. We're going to talk it through. And then the second part is a life update. And my thought behind splitting up like this is the people who care about the life update are going to be able to sit through a minute and a half of me ranting about some random ass app, and the title of the video is going to be about some random ass app, and so the people who clicked on it for that are going to get that first. And yeah, so essentially I was about to watch a video on this architecture program I'm learning on YouTube, and this ad came on, and I've seen it a couple of times, for this app called Pi, which is essentially like an ad extension blocker for Chrome or any browser that you use. And you know, it's being pushed super heavily on YouTube, and even by like people who are like affiliated with YouTube. And so in the back of my mind, you're obviously like, and apparently you get like paid for watching ads, and obviously this sounds like either a scam or just like some sort of, there's something non-obvious going on here, because why in the world would YouTube be promoting a tool that blocks their main revenue source, right? Doesn't make any sense. And also, why is this tool allowed and promoted by YouTube while other ad blockers, like real ad blockers that like seriously block cookies, block like any sort of HTTP traffic coming from these, you know, flagged ad sites, why are those ones banned and this one is promoted, right? What's the difference? And why does this one seem better, right? Like, why are you getting paid to watch ads? And I'm sure you do get paid to watch ads, but here's my thought, right? The biggest for-profit business alive right now, and don't quote me on this because I'm not entirely sure, but the profit margins for Google, who owns YouTube, are freaking astronomical, all right? It's stupid. Because what they do is they rent, this is literally Google's business model. They buy a bunch of computers, and then they connect all the computers throughout the world with their infrastructure, and then they use their computers to organize all of the data going between everybody else's computers, and then they look at that data and they say, hey, your company XYZ over there sells shoes. We know that these people look at shoes online. We're going to sell you moments of their attention where you can say, hey, we sell shoes, they're good for XYZ reasons, you should buy our shoes, and then we sell you ads, right? And the reason that is such a good business is because an ad placement slot is fake. It doesn't exist. There's not a physical thing. All it is like a couple bits on a computer somewhere. It's like, oh, put this Zappos or whatever the shoe company ad is before the YouTube video that they want to watch about architecture, right? And so it costs them nothing to do. Now, the only reason that this would be a bad business model is because other people would come in and try to also sell ad space. But the problem with that is there can really only be one giant company connecting and controlling all of this talk, because it's like people will go to the biggest one because the biggest one has the best service. If you were on, say, Google didn't have access to Amazon.com because Amazon.com was only available through the Bing browser, right? And all of your friends were using the Bing browser. And you couldn't, like, you'd have to use special ways to, like, communicate with people or visit websites because you really wanted to use the Google browser. No, you're just going to switch to Bing, right? So nobody's leaving Google. And so they just, like, jack their prices up to the top, up to the tits for these services. And it's an amazing business model. Like, hats off, really smart people. And they're also a monopoly, which they basically just got cracked down on that by the government. So, that's kind of nice that the government's able to do that. But my point here is that they profit from having enough data about you that they can make that ad slot in front of you, because they only get one or two, right? They've increased it from like one ad in front of a video to like two or maybe even three or whatever. But they really don't get much. They want to put the ad there that's going to sell. Because if you are a 15-year-old boy and you get an ad for tampons, it's wasted. The tampon company wasted money. Google wasted money because they wasted a slot there that they could have sold for more money. And you wasted time, right? It's just a waste all around. And so if Google knows that you're a 15-year-old boy, they're basically going to red flag all of those tampon ads, anything that's, that you're not going to buy. And that's also why they ask you, hey, does this ad seem interesting to you? Because it's actually more profitable in that moment for them to ask for your opinion than it is for them to share an ad with you, right? So this is what you got to remember. It's not always super simple. They're just trying to maximize their profits, and they're testing this stuff out. And so my thought is, this is the same reason why Honey exists, right? People are like, why do you save money when you just download this browser extension? The reason is because it tracks all of your data, right? So instead of just getting a little bit of data from whenever you visit a couple sites that have opted into like Google's ad sharing, data sharing stuff, you're constantly getting tracked. Every site you visit, all this stuff is getting added to your, like, for me, it's like Cal Day Ham or whatever it is. Like, I have one main Google account, and my ads are pretty freaking good. Like, I watch a lot of ads that I'm like, damn, I kind of want that, and then I got to really think and, not buy it. And sometimes I do buy it, right? Because sometimes it is a genuinely good product. And I'm not saying that advertising is bad, right? You need to be able to tell people about your products. I'm just trying to illuminate you to this freaking crazy shite. But yeah, so essentially my thought is that Pi and all this stuff is just simply another way, and I'm actually like 99.9% sure, but drop it in the comments if I'm wrong, for companies like Google and other companies advertising through Google to have more data on you so they can give you more targeted ads so that they can make more money. Because if Google can say, if you're in the market for a 3D printer, right, and there's a 3D printer company out there who is selling really high profit margin 3D printers, say they make like $300 per 3D printer, and they know, if Google knows exactly what type of 3D printer you're looking for and what the features are and all of this stuff, and then you click on a YouTube video, and that they have all this data on this 3D printer company, and they have all this data on you, they can sell that, and they can communicate that certainty to the 3D printer company. They can sell, actually they don't even need to communicate it. That's the best part. If they put that ad in front of you and you click and you buy and the 3D printer company makes $100, they could pay like $20 to Google, which is insane, right? Now, I don't know if it's going to be exactly that high, but they could pay per click. So if YouTube gets them a customer, they pay this much per customer. And the company's fine with doing that. It's a little steep, but they're like, we made $80, so that's great. So the answer to all of this is just educate yourself more. Constantly try to learn and think about what is in front of you and why. Because if it seems like it's for you, or it's being done for you, like, oh, this is all this great stuff, you should. It's there is likely some ulterior motive. All right, life update. It's been not slow. Dealing with some family stuff right now, which is great. Everybody's alive, everybody's healthy, but yeah, pretty insane. Kind of very life or death type of thing happened recently, and so I'm just kind of getting through that. But very grateful. Honestly, it's those times when you really find how happy you are with what you have. And so I'm just kind of in a state of gratitude. And I'll talk more. I know I'm being a little bit ambiguous. It's not my thing to share, and so I'll possibly talk more about it in the future. But that's a big thing. I got a job, which I've made a video about, I think, already. But essentially, I do landscape architecture and design for people and kind of redo their backyards, like pavers, lighting, barbecues, pergolas, turf. Even in my designs, the company that I work for, which is called System Pavers, they don't install plants and irrigation, all that stuff, which seems like a big, component of landscape, but they're more of a hardscaping company. So they only install the hardscape stuff like the pergolas and the turf and the pavers, obviously. They also do decking, composite decking. But I like to provide the planting schemes and design for my clients as well, because then I don't need to say no to as many clients. And yeah, my first month I made it on the email that they send out. I know it's kind of BS, but I made it on like the top designers list, which is awesome for revenue. Not a ton, but well over $100,000, and I did that my second month too. And we're moving into the third month right now. So I a couple weeks ago I sold a $120,000 backyard landscaping project, which I part of me says that to flex, honestly, because I know that there's a lot of people in this world making like $1 billion every year, and that's epic, and I'm trying to get there. But I have been, if you met me, you would never guess it, but I have been flat out broke like my entire life, and that's mostly because I, whenever I have a project or an idea, I kind of just like pour every single bit of my resources that I have into it, right? Like when I was 7 or 8, I started like breeding mice, and I don't even know why I started breeding mice, and I also started breeding crayfish, and I built like this like 6-decker breeding platform, and fit with a water pump and filter and all this stuff, and you couldn't keep me out of Home Depot, right? And yeah, no, for some reason, I just kind of, when I get money, I don't really hold on to it at all. So that can be stressful sometimes, although, of course, I don't feel any stress. Perfect person over here. Not. So yeah, that's nice. It's nice to have a regular job. I'm not sure how long I'm going to stay with this company, but I really like the team, and I'm learning a lot. And they're spending a lot of money on me to train me, and so I'm really appreciative of that. And I've always been something of an entrepreneurial in an entrepreneurial mindset, and I kind of thought to myself that getting a regular job was an admission of failure. And what I'm learning now is that, possibly it is, because greater men might have succeeded where I have failed. That said, I am who I am, and my path is what it's going to be. And I am learning a lot right now, and I'm enjoying myself. So that's kind of all that matters, I think. Maybe not. Maybe I need to be a little bit more hard on myself. But I have learned, I've had some more experiences I got pneumonia. Which is crazy, because I don't really get sick too often. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. In fact, I didn't go to the emergency room until like a week and a half into my pneumonia, because I was like, I'm not sick. I can just, pretend like nothing happens. I was even going to work. It was not non-contagious, like, I forget what the doctor said, but I didn't know this at the time, so honestly, it wasn't very nice of me to go in. But I wasn't coughing at all. But yeah. So I didn't get anybody else sick, but I just basically pretended like my life hadn't changed when I could barely breathe, and had a fever of 100 for the first week, and then it got up to 104, and then I was like, hard to breathe, feels like it's getting worse, don't really know what's going on here, probably should go to the ER. And they took a x-ray of my lungs, and yeah, it was like full of liquid. So that happened, and I went to a rave, which was fun. That was a while back. It's kind of a fun summer. And I'm gonna stay away from talking about any sort of like, love related things, women related things. There's been a I don't know, just learning and trying to improve as a person, and hoping that I've really appreciated all the people that have been in my life, and speaking to those women who are not in my life anymore, I guess you know, it's nothing. Someone calling me? Sounded like someone was calling me. It's hard, you know? It's hard to, when you love someone, but you don't love them enough to sacrifice the rest of your life for them. Because that's honestly what it is. And I'm not saying that it would be, like, at some point I'm going to sacrifice my entire life to someone else, and they're going to sacrifice their entire life to me. And that's a beautiful thing. And there's going to be a lot of, it's not going to be all sacrifice. There's going to be a lot of benefits that come from sacrificing the rest of your life to a person. But the funny thing is, when you love someone, you almost don't want to, when you love someone but you don't love them, it's not even the right way to put it. When you love someone but you're not ready to sacrifice your life for what you feel you could gain from that relationship, then you almost don't want them in your life anymore, because it feels like every step forward is just going to be more painful in the end. And it's such a difficult thing to say out loud, because I have been I don't know, you just wish you could kind of split yourself, because I'm selfish, you know. I'm really, I'm in a period of me right now, and I'm, you know, for better or for worse, and maybe when I'm 80 years old, I'll look back and I'll be like, frick, bro. But I've got a lot of stuff that I want to be doing right now, and I don't think there's a single woman on earth that I would be ready to sacrifice the rest of my life for. And that brings me to the question, should I even be dating then, right? Should I even be searching and talking and flirting and setting up dates and all of this stuff if I know that it's, I mean, from what I've seen, impossible for someone to satisfy what I'm looking for? I don't think so. I mean, I'm not gonna, I don't know. This is a good question. It's a deep question. Maybe I should. There's a lot of guys online right now who are just kind of in a season of them, and they don't burden the women around them with catching feelings and then leaving. Or should I just be okay with not committing to them and then let them, it's really painful though to see them, if you don't commit to them and you don't give them the relationship that they deserve, then it's totally fair for them to go and find that in another man. And that is so freaking painful, bro. I don't know what it is. There's something genetically about men that just absolutely despise the thought of sharing their significant other with other men. If you're like a regularly wired man, maybe if you're like some sort of weird cuck guy, then that's like attractive or something, but that's probably due to some childhood trauma shit. So that's kind of where I'm gonna end that video. I got a massive freaking steak that I'm half done with. Check that out. Oh, I'm so excited. And 2 apples and some beans. So I'm gonna eat all this, have my creatine, stretch a bit, help my brother, and clean my room, do a bit of work, go to the gym. It's gonna be a good day, you know? I'm coming off a wee little bender from Friday, but yeah, on the 1st of January, I'm starting 4 months sober. I'm not taking any crazy drugs, but you know, no alcohol, no psychedelics, no nicotine. we're just going to do 4 months to start. I'm not going sober for the rest of my life, but I think it'd be good for my job and my life, and maybe I'll meet some people, because right now a lot of the ways that I meet people are socially are through clubbing and raving and partying and bars and all that stuff, and those really aren't the people that you are going to be benefited from long term in your life, I don't think. But obviously, I think that I would benefit a lot of people in their lives, and I'm going to those situations, so maybe not. Maybe they are there, but yeah, we're gonna test it because we've done a couple months of non-sober, so we're gonna do a couple months sober. Yeah, love all you guys. If you enjoyed the video, drop a comment, because I love responding to them and I really appreciate it. And if you made it this far and you're not already subscribed, you'll definitely love my next video, because this is authentically who I am, and it's very easy for me to make this type of content because I just kind of talk. And yeah, just keep improving, everyone. Eat good food, work out, get sleep, try to be a genuinely good person, and until next time, peace.